we realized that the conversation about climate change was growing, and we wanted to contribute to how we can decrease our carbon emissions in the environment. And the best solution was to shift from fuel-dependent bikes to electric bikes.
The fact that we noticed that operational costs for electric bikes are way cheaper than that of the fuel bikes.
For Africa, we've had several impacts of climate change. Most of them are very severe. For example, we have consistent flooding in the recent time. These are impact of the changes that we have in the climate system. We have droughts, which is also consistent, and especially recently. We know that most countries in Africa depend on rain-fed agriculture. So once we have differences in rainfall amount or the times of rain, it affects agricultural production and it affects the economy of these countries in Africa.
The Government of Canada knows that urgent action is needed, and we doubled our international climate finance commitment to $5.3 billion. Canada's support includes initiatives like the Ghana Climate Innovation Centre, because we cannot resolve these problems just with the public sector. We need the private sector, entrepreneurs, and small and medium-sized enterprises, because they all have a crucial role to play.
So when we decided to phase out the fuel motorbikes, we're looking for opportunities or partners or how we're going to go about it.
We found it very important to switch to electric bikes so that we can reduce our carbon footprint on the environment. We decided to seek support from GCIC because we realized that the cost involved in purchasing these electric bikes were quite high, and we wouldn't be able to do it on our own. We also realized that GCIC is a climate-focused organization that was interested in helping businesses transition to greener processes. So they were a perfect match for us at the perfect time.
So GCIC gave us 21,000 Canadian dollars, and this helped us to acquire 8 electric bikes. And these 8 electric bikes have impacted our business significantly. We didn't end there, we've added more to it. But aside, they giving us a grant, which was amazing. They helped us with workshops, forums, mentorship, exposure. And they were interested to know that they were the first to help us in our quest to transition from fuel to electric. And since then, since they gave us the exposure, we've had other interests from other parties who have helped us to be able to increase their fleet size. So even though we had 0 before GCIC, after GCIC we had 8, and now we have 29 electric bikes through support and partnership with others. So that kind of exposure, that kind of platform or leverage they gave us was very important and helpful to the business.
A part of our broader efforts in Ghana involves supporting green entrepreneurship programs that unlock sustainable and innovative approaches to improve energy efficiency, renewable energy technologies, climate-smart agriculture, and better managing waste and water. So we're motivated to support climate innovation and sustainable efforts here because we recognize there's a capacity for entrepreneurs to develop innovative solutions, address climate issues, create more jobs, and improve livelihoods.
We are engaging government to be able to explore the possibilities of seeing how fiscal policy can be leveraged to support green enterprises with some of the challenges that they face, because these are businesses that face consequential problems unique to them because of the kinds of businesses that they do. And the least government can do is leverage its power of fiscal policy through incentives to be able to create that environment that allows them to thrive.
Instead of a global organization directly taking the challenge on, they supported the local institutions to take the direct lead, supporting homegrown leaders, being forward-thinking in their processes where they recognize the needs as coming from the institutions as opposed to being imposed.
The support from GCIC, which has helped us acquire the electric bikes, has also helped us reduce our price points for our customers. So our customers are able to access the service at a cheaper rate now compared to the pricing before. They are also becoming more climate conscious because they become very curious when they see these bikes. They ask questions and they try to get more understanding as to why we are making the transition, which I believe is creating some level of consciousness in the society.
I've noticed there's increments in their bikes now. On request, it doesn't keep long for them to come. I've also noticed they've employed a lot of women as well, because I've personally met 2 or 3 of them. And then I've noticed they've changed their bikes now as well. They use this electronic bike. I think it makes them faster and then cheaper, because there've been increments in the fuel, but their prices still remains the same.
People are like surprised and others are excited. Most of the times, to some people when they order, they just go straight to the point. I want a female rider to bring it, so I'm okay with the female rider. Like, they handle things neatly, nicely.
So the user feedback for us switching to electric bikes is interesting. And I think it's the one that keeps coming a lot, is that they don't hear them coming. They don't make noise when they're coming, because then it's, normally they will hear the bike coming from distance, they will hear, but with an electric bike it makes no noise. It looks different, the bike looks different because of the battery component and the shape, so they'll start asking questions, and they're always fascinated by what they see. Then they start asking the riders these questions: what kind of bike is this? What does it do? Now we even train the riders to communicate to their customers that this is the reason why we have switched to electric bikes. So when they ask them, they tell them the reasons why we are using this. And those who are eco-friendly are even super happy about it.
Looking at the future of ShaQ and its 2 partners, Global Affairs Canada, Ghana Climate Innovation Center, I'd like us to think about something I read about, which is the quintuple helix. And it talks about how academia, private, public sector, society, and the environment need to work cohesively. And in doing so, be very cognizant of how whatever products, processes, or services they produce are impacting the environment, and be very careful in their choices to preserve the environment, because once we preserve the environment, we preserve ourselves. And so that is where I want us to go as a triad.
So as we look ahead, we see a future where green initiatives, like those supported by the Ghana Climate Innovation Center, continue to grow and serve as a blueprint for sustainability across the country and across the region. We also see a place where green entrepreneur initiatives will not be funded by development, but rather they will become part of the private sector ethos, where the return on investment for climate-smart adaptations are embraced. Canada remains committed to supporting Ghana and many other countries' transitions to a healthier, more equitable, and more prosperous green economy.
From January 2022 to September 2023, GCIC, with support from Global Affairs Canada, has supported 70 green businesses, 32 of whom are female-led, sequestered over 558,000 metric tons of carbon emissions, which is the equivalent of what over 355,000 Ghanaians emit annually, held 6 national green roadshows, created 678 new jobs, raised over $4.3 million in cumulative revenue, and served over 5.6 million customers with green goods and services.